Let me speak honestly with you right now, and I mean truly honestly. Not the kind of honesty that feels comforting in the moment, but leaves you struggling and uncertain years down the road. I'm talking about the kind of truth that may feel uncomfortable, may push against what you currently believe about Social Security, and might even shift the entire direction of your financial future. Because today, we're diving into something that most financial commentators out there misunderstand. They toss around figures, they gesture toward break even ages, they use terms like actuarial data and optimization methods, and they make it seem like claiming Social Security at 62 is something only careless people would do, like it's a choice rooted in desperation or lack of knowledge. And I'm here to tell you that simply isn't accurate. Claiming Social Security at 62 for the right individual in the right circumstances is not a financial error. It can actually be a form of financial self-respect. And by the time we finish today, you'll clearly understand why. But first, and this matters, so stay with me, I need you to recognize something about where your beliefs about money originate. Because the way you currently think about Social Security, the stress you feel, the fear of making the wrong decision, doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from somewhere deep within you. It comes from the messages you absorbed growing up, from watching your parents worry about finances, from being told you must sacrifice now to benefit later, from a culture that treats waiting as wisdom and instant reward as weakness. And I want you to really think about that. Sit with it for a moment, because sometimes the most meaningful financial decision is the one that supports your real life, not some imagined perfect scenario where you live to 95 in perfect health and never need money before then. So let's begin there. Let's begin with you. You understand yourself better than any financial advisor ever could. You know your body. You know your health background. You know whether the men in your family live into their 90s or begin facing heart issues in their 60s. You know if your knees hurt when you walk upstairs. You know if your job is slowly draining you. You already know these things. And the decision about when to claim Social Security should center around that knowledge. Here's what conventional advice says. Wait as long as possible, ideally until age 70, because your benefit increases roughly 8% per year after your full retirement age. And yes, mathematically, that's correct. No one is arguing with the math. But the math only works, only fulfills its promise, if you live long enough to collect enough payments to make waiting worthwhile. And that's a gamble. It's a bet on how long you'll live, and like any bet, you should think carefully about whether it makes sense for you before making it. Let's paint a clearer picture. If your full retirement age is 67 and you claim at 62, your benefit is reduced to about 70% of what you'd receive at 67. That's a noticeable monthly difference if you live a long life. But here's the other side. You begin receiving payments 5 years earlier. 5 years of income you wouldn't have if you waited. So the real question isn't just how large your monthly check will be. The real question is how many checks you'll actually receive over your lifetime. And that depends entirely on how long you live. The break-even point, the age where delaying pays off, is usually somewhere between 78 and 82, depending on your situation. If you live beyond that, waiting was financially beneficial. If not, claiming early was the better choice. Now think honestly about this, without judgment, just truth. Do you have reason to believe you'll live comfortably into your late 80s or beyond? I'm not asking you to be negative. I'm asking you to be realistic, because denial isn't a financial strategy. If you have serious health concerns, if your family history isn't favorable, if life is already physically demanding, then waiting until 70 might mean you receive those higher payments for fewer years than you would have received smaller payments starting at 62. The math shifts. The supposedly smart move may actually cost you money. And this is where traditional financial advice falls short. It gives a one-size-fits-all answer to a deeply personal decision. Now let's discuss something people rarely mention: the emotional and physical cost of continuing to work when your body or mind is telling you it's time to stop. Research shows that long-term work stress shortens lives. Staying in a job that drains you mentally, physically, emotionally is not neutral. It has consequences. And if you're staying in that job only to delay claiming Social Security, you need to ask yourself a serious question. Is the larger future check worth what it's costing you right now? Because here's the reality: money is a tool meant to support your life, not control it. And if chasing a higher future benefit is costing you your health, your peace, your time with loved ones, or your ability to enjoy life while you still can, then you're paying a price no spreadsheet reflects. This is what I mean by financial self-care. It's not indulgent. It's not selfish. It means making decisions that support your entire well-being, not just your finances, but your health, your time, and your happiness. And for some people, claiming Social Security at 62 is exactly that kind of decision. Let me be clear about who I'm talking to. I'm speaking to the person who has worked hard their entire life and feels it in their body. The nurse who's spent decades on her feet. The construction worker whose back aches every day. The teacher who gave everything to others and now feels exhausted. These are real lives. And telling them to push through 8 more years just because the math looks better isn't wisdom. It's harshness disguised as logic. I'm also talking to the person without a large investment portfolio or pension, someone relying mainly on savings and Social Security. For them, claiming at 62 could mean retiring while they still have the health to enjoy it, instead of working until they physically can't anymore. I'm speaking to single individuals, especially women, who don't have a partner's benefit to rely on and can't afford to gamble on future projections. They need income now, not promises later. And I'm talking to couples where one spouse earned significantly less. In these cases, one person claiming early while the other delays can actually be a smart approach. The lower earner collects at 62, providing income, while the higher earner waits to maximize benefits that will later support the surviving spouse. That's not reckless, that's thoughtful planning. Now, let's go deeper, because we can't talk about money without addressing emotions. Many people delay claiming not because it's the best choice for them, but because of fear. Fear of making a mistake, fear of judgment, fear that claiming early means failure. But listen carefully. There is no weakness in making the decision that fits your life. There is no failure in using the money you've spent decades earning in a way that benefits you most. This isn't charity, it's your money. If there's shame or fear around this choice, ask yourself where it comes from. Is it based on real analysis or on a belief that you must always sacrifice? Because sometimes the most responsible decision is choosing wisdom over fear. And wisdom starts with understanding yourself and having the courage to make a decision that fits your reality, even if it looks different from others. Now let's look at practical steps. First, evaluate your health and family history honestly. Talk to your doctor. Get real information. If your health is strong and your family lives long, waiting may benefit you. If not, your approach may differ. Second, examine your current financial needs. Can you comfortably wait without Social Security? Do you have sufficient savings? If claiming at 62 provides stability, that value matters. Third, think about how you want to spend your retirement. Your early retirement years are often your most active. If you have goals, travel plans, or experiences you want to enjoy, that time matters. Fourth, consider your work situation. If you're still earning, benefits may be reduced, but if not, this may not apply. Fifth, understand survivor benefits if married. The higher earner delaying can protect the surviving spouse. Also, think about taxes. Yes, they matter, but don't let complexity stop you. Get professional advice if needed, but don't let uncertainty lead to inaction. And review your actual Social Security statement. Look at your projected benefits at different ages. Base your decision on your numbers, not someone else's. Finally, consider the emotional value of certainty. Social Security provides reliable, guaranteed income. It doesn't disappear with market changes. For many, that peace of mind is invaluable. On the other hand, stress from waiting, depleting savings, overworking, constant worry has real costs. At the end of the day, remember this: your life is worth more than any financial optimization. The goal isn't to maximize unclaimed benefits, it's to live well. Make your decision based on your real life, your health, your needs, and your goals. That's true financial wisdom. That's self-care.